Hey everybody, my friend Krista recently posted that she is getting very excited about video blogs and that she wants to start making a blog that people respond to with videos answering a question that she's planning to ask each week, a different question each week. So this week's question is, the world needs more ... and then we fill in the ellipses. And because it's April and as some, perhaps all of you know, April 2nd is Autism Awareness Day. I thought that I would say the world needs more autism acceptance. And there's a big difference between autism awareness and autism acceptance. I'm going to give you a couple quotes, mostly that's going to be my whole video, kind of pointing out the difference and advocating for autism acceptance over simple awareness. Steve Silberman said, Steve Silberman is a contributor to Wired. He has written a book about autism. He is autistic, and he is a super interesting, super smart dude who said this about autism awareness. Our society is not only aware of autism, it is obsessed with the subject. Unfortunately, though, this obsession is often misdirected. Instead of worrying about what families of autistic people are supposed to do when the services and support devoted to children run out after high school, or how autistic adults themselves are supposed to lead happy and productive lives without access to employment and health care, we perseverate, which means to obsess, about the latest theories of autism causation. So that's what he has to say about autism awareness. And then another autistic person wrote a poem about autism awareness. Her name is Alyssa. Her blog is yesthattoo.blogspot.com. And she wrote this. Now, she mentioned that there's a trigger warning about the Judge Rotenberg Center, which is an abusive education center in eastern Massachusetts that uses electroshocks on students, and is horrifying, and hopefully will be made illegal in the next year because Deval Patrick is putting some energy into that. And also a trigger warning for quiet hands, which is something that teachers, behavior specialists, occupational therapists tell people with autism to do. So people with autism do this thing called stimming, self-stimulation. Sometimes it's flapping, sometimes it's rocking, sometimes it's finger flicking, can be pacing, can be lots of different things. And so there's been this idea perpetuated that when autistic people are doing that, they need to stop because it's disruptive to those around them. If those around them cannot concentrate because they're merely acting like themselves, then I would suggest that those around them perhaps need to learn how to be more tolerant and accepting. But many professionals do tell autistic people quiet hands, which means put your hands down, put your hands under your lap, stop your hands from doing what makes you look and feel autistic. Basically, do not allow yourself to be who you are. So, those are some trigger warnings, some explanations about the trigger warnings. Those things are mentioned in the poem. Aware. I am aware. I am aware that there is a thing called autism. I am aware that it is diagnosed more than it used to be. I am aware that people are scared of autism and of autistic people. I am autism aware. I am aware. I am aware of how we are treated. I am aware of the Judge Rotenberg Center. I am aware of quiet hands. I am aware of discrimination. I am aware of abuse called therapy. I am actually aware. Notice the difference. So I really love that poem because I think what it points out is that the first stanza is really about what gets put out there on Autism Awareness Day and what people, the information that people spread about autism. And then the second paragraph is what autistic people know of autism and how people are treated because of their autistic traits. And there's a big difference between that sense of awareness and why is it only autistic people or some people who work with autistic folks or family of autistic folks who, know about the second part. Why isn't that part of autism awareness? And it's a big question. It's something that I think that we deserve to ask ourselves, especially if we're educators or social workers or OTs, PTs, music therapists, anybody who works with autistic people, spends time with autistic people, has autistic family. I think we should really be considering that difference between what organizations like Autism Speaks are spreading during Autism Awareness and what autistic people are actually aware of about their treatment. And finally, Policy Durbin Westby, who is a contributor to the Thinking Person's Guide to Autism, has really done a lot of work about autism acceptance instead of autism awareness. I am a big fan of her and the Thinking Person's Guide to Autism in general. She is an educator. She works with autistic people, and maybe she has an autistic child or two. I don't really remember, I'm sorry to say. There's a bunch of different contributors on the Thinking Person's Guide to Autism, and I get their personal lives confused because I don't know them in real life. But she has written this about acceptance, autism acceptance, and it's the last thing that I'm going to share. It's a vision that I share with her, and I really encourage all of you to spread this message about autism when you're discussing autism, especially when you see folks with their Autism Speaks pins or their lighted up blue signs, or all the different things that come out during Autism Awareness Day, or at autism walks or something for Autism Speaks. I'd really encourage you to really push this message that she is stating here that I'll share. Acceptance means accepting yourself as you are, even in the face of persistent attempts throughout your life to get you to be what you are not, especially in the face of persistent attempts throughout your life to get you to be what you are not. The best you can be is autistic. Let me explain. The best you can be is autistic means that you are at your best when you are being fully who you are, able to express yourself and move through the world in ways that are right for you, comfortable for your body. The best you can be as autistic does not imply impairments, less than, can only do so much. On the contrary, it means that who you are, your pervasive autistic self, which actually includes those parts that observers might think are typical just because they can't see anything that looks unusual to them, and that encompasses all of who you are, not just the parts that have been permitted, and not just the stuff that whatever the DSM of the moment says are your deficits. You have the right, or should, to grow in ways that are good for you, that you think are good for you. You have the right to make changes in your life that you think are the correct ones for you. So that's my message. I think what the world needs is more autism acceptance. I'm grateful to Krista for creating this little video activity, and if you are interested in learning more about autism acceptance from autistic people's perspectives, I would highly suggest that you look at some of the following blogs that I'll mention. I don't know how to put a list up on this video, or else I would. John Elder Robison's blog, it's called Look Me in the Eye. It's JEROBISON.blogspot.com. Landon Bryce's blog, which is called Thoughtcast, THAUTCAST.com. Thinking Person's Guide to Autism, which is thinkingautismguide.com. And then I also like Left Brain, Right Brain, which I don't have up for some reason. And then from there, those are, I think, probably some of the most popular autism blogs out there. And from there, you will get a lot of links. So, for example, if you go to the Thoughtcast blog, Landon Bryce's blog, then he's constantly posting links to other people's blogs, and you will quickly get a long list of blogs worth reading written by autistic people that talk about how they feel about autism, that will hopefully influence your understanding of autism and increase your acceptance and appreciation of it. Have an awesome day, and thank you for listening.